how could we help them? How could we make this better? Whatever. We wanted to kind of present a platform to kind of give them a chance, some insight on kind of seeing the things that we could really help them with over here. You know what I'm saying? And so I know y'all always come to me with different questions. So we want to give that opportunity to go. Just a little backstory, a little bit. We created this company 6 years ago. Me, a couple of my partners, we got together, myself, Santi, Stephen Greenslade, Rodney. We wanted to kind of put together a team of people that, one, my background as an artist, coming up in the Caribbean, and not just as an artist, but building and fortifying a brand. I started off in gospel music, and gospel reggae music at that. And when I first started it in the Bahamas, it wasn't a market for it. So creating value and creating a market and building something, at the end of the day, I did it out of necessity. But understanding that I had to do that, it kind of gave me a blueprint on how to create value as an artist. And that transcends just the market that I was in, and understanding that when I came here to the US and came here to the market, I got my first legitimate job as an A&R and moved my way up to an executive A&R. I worked with Flo Rida's label, IMG Strong Arm, at the end of the day. And shout out to them boys, for having the faith in me and what I do, you know what I'm saying? And so being able to be a part of that system helped me to understand a little bit more of the music business here. And, working with record labels and record executives and, just networking, meeting more people. And then you realize the misconceptions of an independent artist and what it takes to get signed. And then you realize that in the industry, every 10 to 15 years, it kind of changes. There's so many nuances. Because when I first started in this, there was no online marketing and no digital space and nothing like that. That changed about 15 years ago. So the market changed along with that. And now, because the digital society and the metaverse is now changing so much. Technology is a big part of the way we live every day. When we first started, you didn't have music in the phone. Understand what I'm saying? You had to have a boombox. You had to have, apparatus to play another apparatus on, like a CD or a tape or something like that. Now everything comes in here. That changed everything. So understanding this, the mindset of an independent artist 20 years ago to an independent artist today is a few different things. So sometimes relating it, people have things that have become sensationalized commercially with having a record deal and being an artist from watching movies and TV and seeing stuff like that. So their conception of when I grow up and I want to be an artist, they have that, they fantasize about that in their mind. But because the industry has changed so much, it's become so different at the end of the day than what it was before. The information has not hit them yet. They didn't get the first set of real information because what was glamorized to them was really based on something that doesn't even exist anymore. And that wasn't even the true ins and outs about it. So now what people are thinking, I want to be an artist, are going to sing and get rich. That's the mindset of it. It's the same thing like an athlete saying, I'm going to join my high school basketball team and get rich. No. There's a lot of work to go into it. There's levels to it before you could get to the NBA. And not every player that plays in the NBA is rich. They're making more money than the average person, but they don't get rich until they end up exceeding their first contract, getting to their other deals at the end of the day. You understand what I'm saying? But there's a lot to understand about that. So, we want to kind of create a space to kind of inform people, not just about music, but just about business. We looking at 4 individuals with the backgrounds. My partner, Rodney, he's been in the music industry for years. He's had been through record deals. He's worked with a lot of the major artists out here in Florida, Flo Rida, Rick Ross, all those guys. He's really connected on the scene there. He's had a major deal for himself. He's been on platinum records and has plaques and stuff to show about it. Santi here, and I know he can speak a lot for himself, but in terms of the music business, you know what I'm saying? He's been through it. He has his degrees and stuff like that. He studied, just business itself. We wanted to ground ourselves with that. And then, our other partner, Stephen Greenslade, he's an entrepreneur. He's a successful businessman. He knows what it is to invest and to build a company from the ground up. He's did it from his hands, and he has a couple of different ventures that he's been able to do on his own. And we brought all of our levels of expertise together to build an infrastructure that we wanted to create something for independent artists. So at the end of the day, we want to help people in business in general. Music is our business, but at the end of the day, we want to also help other businesses to grow. And a lot of the things in business are synonymous with each other. You could kind of, cross the plane with each one of them, you know what I'm saying? But this podcast specifically, we want to attract those artists that want to understand, how can I get there? How can I create value? how can I use the thing that I love the most to be successful in life? And that's what we want to bring to the table. So I'm gonna open it up, for you guys. You guys kind of represent the independent artists today because all the questions and everything that they have, you guys representing them today. You guys are A&Rs, you're artist reps. So I want to hear some of that stuff. We want to address some of that stuff today. I don't know, Santi, you got anything that you kind of want to cover before we really get into it today?
No, of course. A lot of the information that is misunderstood or misrepresented online, the perception appears to be the reality online, but a lot of the ins and outs of the actual business side of it is gatekept. So one of the reasons why we're having these conversations and opening up these lines of questions and conversation for independent artists is we want to level and even the playing field a little bit, provide the information, the facts, and what it actually takes. What are the ins and outs? Because just because your favorite artist is doing something doesn't mean that's going to work for you. So you guys work with the independent artists way more hands-on, but we work with the business side of it. So we kind of want to bring those two together and provide some clarity.
So with all that said and done, in today's market, what would you say is the best way for an artist to, really blow up or make it, as they say?
I would say, because to contextualize that, that's a broad statement. But in terms of blow up into stardom today, I would say consistency is the key. If you enter the race, at the end of the day, to get to the finish line, you got to stay consistent. You have no chance of winning if you give up in the middle of it. We don't know if the person who was supposed to be the next big artist 10 years ago gave up in year 5. You understand what I'm saying? So consistency for me would be the key. If you're talking about the methods and things you could use to do it, there are a plethora of methods and things that you could use to get there, but most people don't stay consistent. I would say the key component to blowing up in any industry, in any market, but we're talking about music mainly, is being consistent. You know what I'm saying? If we want to go into what things they need to be consistent in, is that could be, you know what I'm saying, something we could expand on a little bit. But I'm saying just in a nutshell, consistency would be the thing I would tell any artist. You got to be consistent on the things that you say that you good at, that you could be great at it. You feel me? And it's the end goal for everybody. Success is something that's not determined by one thing. If I say I want to get to the 12th floor and you say, well, my goal is to get to the 5th floor. If you reach the 5th floor and I reach the 7th floor, you are more successful than I am, or do I reach higher than you? You understand what I'm saying? So it's the difference of an artist blowing up could mean somebody and they saying, I just want everybody in my city to know me. Don't have to be nationally known. You understand what I'm saying? So the things that you would do for an artist to blow up there would be different for somebody saying, I want to be known by the whole world. I want to be like Beyonce. That's a different kind of blow up. You understand what I'm saying? And to be somebody that's a local star or something like that. So it just depends. But I would say, just to round it up, consistency would be the key for me. Stay consistent at it. When it doesn't look like it's going great, stay consistent. When it looks like it's going good, stay consistent at the end of the day.
And not only consistency, because blowing up, you can also be a flash in the pan. But everybody's definition of success is going to be different, just as Monty said. Now, success doesn't necessarily mean you can be famous or people know you. Success could also mean you're able to provide for your family and leave something for your kids, your catalog, your publishing, whatever it is. And people may never know who you are. That's a totally different side of the business. Now, on top of consistency, I would also say authenticity. Remain authentic to yourself, because if you start trying to copy other artists and comparing yourself to what everyone else is doing, you're only setting yourself off of your own track. And it may sound appealing, but they're not really looking. You don't want to be labeled as the next Baby, the next Beyonce, the next whatever. It sounds great, but you want to be the next you. You want to be the new you. You don't want to replicate and copy, because it's never going to be the same. Right? By the time you get there, that person's going to be old. No one's really going to care. So I just think being consistent and authentic and just being honest with yourself and just pushing forward. Because once you do get to the point where you feel like, oh, I made it, that's not when you lay off the gas. You push down the pedal even more and continue to be consistent, because you don't want to be a one-hit wonder. You don't want people to forget who you are and just have that flash of success, that small little period of time of success. You want longevity. But at the same time, success, the definition of success is different for everybody.
Well, to go with Sanji saying, I want to challenge that a little bit. I do want to challenge that a little bit. Because I feel like this, just how we talking about their different levels of what people consider as success. Some people want being a one-hit wonder is success. Because they ain't never had a hit before. And they wasn't never known. And like, you know, I don't want to name any names, but let's take any artist that had one hit and you know what I'm saying, it changed their life. At the end of the day, you ask them would they change it, they'll probably say no, they would still take the one hit over before they were struggling. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you saying Beyonce's career or you saying like you take, you know, somebody like Chris Brown's career and you measure it up to the average person that's just had one hit record, then sure, you want their career over that. But we talking about independent artists here. So we're talking about the people that don't have anything going for them. They would rather have one hit than to have nothing at the end of the day. So we want to say strive for the highest mark, but from where they're sitting at this point that they're sitting in, it may take some emulation to get them. They may imitate their favorite artists to understand who they are at the end of the day. And you want to emulate the good things and weed out the negative things. Sometimes that helps define you. You understand what I'm saying? The person that was able to engineer the cordless phone or the wireless phone, they had to take the model from the regular phone. You understand what I'm saying? And that became a level of success too. But what you don't want to do is take the negative parts of what the person, you know, didn't do. And you don't want to start at where the person that you aspire to be is at right now. You can't start from where they at now. You got to start from where they started at.
So I did want to piggyback off what you guys said. Consistency is important. But a lot of artists, they feel like consistency is just recording their music or being in the studio, just making the music. They don't really understand that whatever you spend on creating the content, you need to be prepared to spend 3 to 4 times on marketing it.
In any business.
And like you said, it goes for any business. Now, also, I do want to touch on choices because a lot of people might have the right mindset or, you know, they do believe that, you know, they will be successful, but their choices don't necessarily reflect that, right? Because there's a lot of people that I talk to and they say they want this so bad, they're willing to do whatever it takes. And then when they hear that there's a cost associated with it, it scares them. Like, oh, never mind. And it's like, there's no business that you can grow and scale and start to generate revenue without investing into it.
Right. But so I get why that happens, especially with independent artists. And like I said from the beginning, the concept of when they think of becoming an artist and fantasizing about being associated with some form of label per se, whether it's a marketing label, whether it's distribution, whether it's a record label, their mindset is, you should pay me for the music that I created. And they don't understand that the first version of what they saw when they saw a record label signing an artist and paying them for those songs in advance is that the record labels back then, the way that they were set up was that because we know that we could sell this music. We know that there's a market that's starving for this kind of music and they saw the value in that artist already. Those days are gone. That market has changed. So not because you create a song mean that nobody gonna buy it. So they're thinking, oh, I want to promote my songs. If I bring you the song, you market it and we both make money. Yeah, that's if we believe that you could actually make money. Now it's showing proof at the end of the day. Record labels don't sign an artist because they got good records no more. And they got the money and the infrastructure and the funding to do it. It's not a good business model no more because why? You have people with terrible music that's selling it because they marketing it. So the record labels say, put it out, test it in the market. Let's see if it does well. Bring it when we realize it's doing well in us that we can turn a profit, bring it to us and we'll do business and show and prove now. You understand? Because record labels, people talk about the money record labels have made off of artists for years, but no one talks about the money record labels has lost. And how many record labels have been successful and they're not around no more because they went bankrupt because the one artist that was doing great was supporting the 10 artists that wasn't doing nothing. You understand? And the potential of an artist doing good, at the end of the day, all it is potential. You got to turn that into people wanting to buy in. Now a record label is saying, hey, if people are already buying on this level, then there's a greater chance that on this level, they're going to also buy. So we only got to put the roof on it versus building the whole building now. and putting the roof on it, and we get to sell the house and split the profits is a better business model than saying, okay, you give us the land and we build the whole house and then we split the profits, but what if nobody buy? We wasted all our money and we end up losing the property at the end of the day. So the mindset of the artist is thinking, oh, I don't think I have to pay for it. They're not looking at it like that. Those artists are going to be left in the dust. But they're going to come around if they stay consistent. That's why consistency is the key. They're going to come around. They're going to come around because the more they do it and realize they're not getting no results, they're going to start to figure it out and realize that the reason I ain't getting no results, damn, I seen my homeboy that started 5 years after me, he done blew right past me. Because they gonna realize he was investing in his music, he was growing his business. He was, you understand what I'm saying? He was willing to do what I was afraid to do, and I'm more talented than him. I ask people all the time, I say, listen, they say, and I got the talent, I got this and that, whatever the case may be. I say, okay, tell me this. Do you hear artists on the radio right now that you think that you better than, you think you're more talented? Oh, of course, all the time. You see artists that are on, that are popping, that you know you're more talented. Of course, yeah, all the time. That is a clear indication that it don't got nothing to do with talent then. If you see them on and you not on and you more talented than them, that is a clear indication. Maybe it's not so much about talent. Maybe it's about that person promoting their business a little bit more than you do, willing to go further than you do. If you have the best stuff on the block at the end of the day and people not buying and the dudes who on the other corner, his stuff is trash, but he's on every other corner, you think people gonna buy you over him? No, they never gonna buy you over him because they see him more than they see you. You know, and the dudes that get from you, they gonna say, boy, this stuff fire. But man, this should have been over on the other side of town too. But you don't wanna expand your business. You understand what I'm saying? At the end of the day. So for the artists that we're dedicating this to the people that want to understand they need to invest to continue to grow. The people that think that they don't and they think that the goodwill is going to come for them. This is business. This is not goodwill. People do not do business on the strength of goodwill. People choose their charities. If you feel like, oh, I just want somebody to love my music so much and then come and say, I want to, it can happen, but why you want to leave it to that chance? You have two types of people that play the game. In basketball, you have the dude that's hoping the other dude missed the shot so he could win. And you have the dudes that's saying, I'm going to defend this dude that he never takes the shot so he can win. You understand what I'm saying? You want to be that dude because that ensures that you're going to win on this.
So let me ask you this then. What are the best areas for an independent artist to invest to create the value that they need?
Well, it's different levels to it. It depends on where their starting point is. There are different levels to the independent artist field is a very broad spectrum. So you have the artists that ain't never recorded. They don't have no music out. Where they would start from an artist that has a ton of music out, that's never shot a video, that's a different starting point. For an artist that already has videos and songs and different, that's a different starting point. So define which level you're talking about.
Let's say like somebody that already has music in the vault. They have, good quality content, the mix and masters are on point, the videos look good. Let's say they have it, they released it, now they don't know what to do with it. They don't know what areas to necessarily market it.
Okay. So they need the maximum level of exposure. So there are a bunch of platforms that give you that. You got Spotify, you got Apple, you got all the digital you got all the digital stores that your music will go to, and then you have all the stores that like YouTube that your video will be premiered on, and then iTunes also does it now. But then now you got to start to show people it's there. You got a bunch of blog sites. You got a bunch of different places where you can feature your song and your video. You could purchase ads. You could, do ad commercials and stuff like that, do promos for your songs, building like a 10-second promo with your songs or with your videos, like a trailer or something like that, and then running ads behind those, driving traffic to the links to your Spotify and stuff like that to get new listeners in, to get people that are interested in buying. Not everybody that hears your music is going to buy it. And that's what people are more focused on. They're thinking that, once everybody hears me, they're going to love me because I'm so great. But guess what? At the end of the day, not everybody that hears the greatest artist that's out right now, not everybody that hears Adele music love it. You understand what I'm saying? But the majority of people, if my maximum level of exposure is 10 million people and at least 100 people out of 10 million, which is a small percentage from 10 million, ends up loving my music at the end of the day, I have actually become a successful artist. It only takes 50 to 100,000 people supporting your music for you to have some level of success in the music industry. So your exposure rate, it shouldn't be based on, it should be how much how much I could get people to see me. Find out the platforms that have the most traffic and start to push. That's what we do. That's what we do over here. We help people to get in front of as much people as possible to increase their rate of exposure. That increases your rate of engagement. At the end of the day, people only could engage with what they see. They can't engage with what they don't see. And the chances are, every 1,000 people that see you, you may get 10 that actually want to buy something. So in my mind, I'm saying, okay, and if it take me, I need to have 500 to make my quota, then that means that I need some more thousands. I need some more hundreds of thousands. Who's that depending on? If I don't know how to get it, then I go hire somebody that does know how to get it. You understand? I go pay somebody that does know how to do it. That's what the record labels do. That's how they make people successful. The record labels don't do everything they sell. The people that they hiring are people that specialize in doing the thing that they do: radio, TV, promo, marketing, distribution, all that different stuff. They just hired a man that's really good at it. That's what a smart man does. If you got to do everything yourself, then who busy creating the music? Who busy cooking in the kitchen? If you doing everything else, you got to hire the people. That's what makes a successful business. If you got a brand, then you understand? So what we do is more like you hiring a record label to work for you. We help you to understand this is what you need to do.
Well, let me ask you this. What about those high caliber artists that have done that already, right? And
Wait, before you finish, so you can frame your question right, you got to give me what their goal is, though.
So the goal of this artist, so a lot of so a lot of high caliber artists. When I say high caliber, I'm talking about the people that are already verified. They have a couple 100,000 followers, a couple million streams, but they haven't gotten that record deal that they wanted. They haven't hit their goal. So I guess their goal is to sign a major record deal,
Okay.
where they actually have creative control. You know what I mean? So I get a lot of those guys that hit me up and, they say the same thing. Like, I've done all that, Dave. Now what? So what would be your advice to that guy who's investing the right amount, but has kind of lost heart and because he hasn't gotten there yet? So what would be your advice to that guy?
So then that guy had an expectation of something. He says, I've done all that and I haven't gotten where, Dave? Is he saying I've done all that and I haven't gotten the record deal? Is that what he's saying?
I haven't gotten the record deal.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you could do all that and still not getting the record deal. Like, is he working with people that knows the way, that knows the path? You could put the investment in, but if you don't have people that know the way, at the end of the day, a person could say, I've trained in the gym all day, I hit all my shots, I do this, I played at the collegiate level, but if you don't have an agent that could get you in the front of NBA scouts or get scouts to come see you or get you to an open gym, you're still going to be the same dude in the hood that just know how to play.
Okay.
You could put all of that into it, and there's a lot of people that have put the investment in. And let me start off by saying this: when people say, "What does an artist need to make it?" The two essential things that they definitely need is the investment. It don't just got to be the money, but it's the time and consistency that goes along with putting in the effort to spend the money and knowing the way, the path. You gotta have somebody that knows the way, that knows how to do it. It's just like if you have a mechanic and your friend a mechanic and he say, you don't have to take your car to the store to get fixed. I can fix it for you, but you gotta go buy the parts. You bring the investment, I got the know-how, we get the car on the road. Some people have the investment, they bought all the parts. At the end of the day, and they say, well, I done bought all of that, but my car still ain't fixed. Because you ain't taking to somebody that know how to fix a car, dummy. So now you talking to the right person. Everything you did got you here to me. So you did what you were supposed to do. Now let's push it over to the top.
I kind of want to piggyback on something, right? As far as people saying, I haven't been discovered yet. I'm better than this guy that has been discovered. What's going on? And truthfully, at the end of the day, it's just more so about getting out there because, like you said, everything is a business. It's not about whether these people think your music is good or not, whether it is or not. It's just more so, like you said, that consistency and getting out there. Because, they got to make money too.
And the point you make is exactly right. But for the person that says that, the first thing they doing wrong is, I'm more talented than the dude that this and that. One, you don't know what nobody else got going on, and you can't think that you do know. And that be the artist's problem. They be thinking they know what's going on. If you so focused on what they doing something right. because it's distracting you from what you're supposed to be doing. When you say, oh, but I know this dude, all he doing is this, and these dudes done got on. They so good at what they do that they even got you focusing. And so the dude that's first place in the race is focused on the finish line. Everybody else that's in second, third, fourth, last is focused on who coming first at the end of the day. So if they say, if you already know you ain't leading, you already know you ain't first place, you already know that you not focused on the finish line because you focus on who in front of you at the end of the day. You got to create your own lane and your own space for success, looking straight at the finish line. And that determines where you're going. So the artist that says, oh, I know this person doing this and they doing that and doing the next thing, you got to ask them, what are you doing though? Because they could have $50,000 behind them because they created the value and somebody could have jumped on them and say, hey, I got 100 beans that I want to put behind you, boy. I see what you're doing. But then you focusing on what they doing, not knowing they got somebody that's in with them, pushing them, thinking, you understand what I'm saying? A lot of this stuff be smoke and mirrors. You never get caught up in it if you focus on you. And y'all know that's my mindset. Y'all know from we started this, from each and one of y'all been working there, other people do what we do. And y'all could vouch and say that I don't give a flying about what nobody else doing. Y'all come to me and say, oh, this person. I don't be knowing half of it because I be focused on what we doing. Because it's my responsibility to make this successful, make us successful, and the people around us. I'm not concerned about nobody that's not spending their efforts with us. The people that are spending their efforts with us, that's what I'm focused on, making them successful. Our partners and the people here, I'm focused on building what we got. Every artist should be focusing on growing what they doing versus, now you could take tips from other people that's being successful, but to look at them versus where you at and say, well, they doing this and how come this and how come that? You just confusing yourself with some math that don't concern you. It don't add to your pocket nor to what you trying to do. You know what I'm saying?
So what would be your advice, right? Like, for example, say I'm an artist, I know I gotta be consistent, I gotta spend money, but how would I get those industry connects? Like, how would I do it? Do I wait till they reach out to me?
You gotta create value first. Ask yourself if you valuable enough for an industry exec to know if they could do business with me. Mm-hmm. Do you have the value? Because guess what? People only know a record executive is a record executive, but do we know how they make and lose their job? A record executive is responsible for signing an artist and allocating a budget for them to earn more money for the company and to be more successful. Let's not get it twisted. And if you co-signed an artist that's causing the company to lose, what's gonna happen to you? You finna lose your job. You understand what I'm saying? Because an executive did not own the company. He's responsible for every dollar that goes out that gotta come in. So if I co-signed this artist to say like, oh, I want, I think this person do this, just like, they better be close enough to success and have the value that we win something out of the deal. So people that's thinking, oh, how could I get if the record labels ain't reaching out to you or the people because it's not just record labels anymore. You're talking about brand deals. Mm-hmm. You're talking about marketing deals. You're talking about promotional deals and partnerships and stuff like that. If those type of people or business opportunities are not reaching out to you, you haven't created enough value. If people see the value in you, they gonna reach out. They gonna want to do business with you.
So let me ask you this. How does an independent artist or an artist in general, how do they accurately manage their investment expectations versus reality?
Well, I think first we just need to define what those components are that are valuable to the labels, to the brands, to the people that will pump money into you or sign you or whatever the deal is. So I think let's just take a step back and say, okay, what can I do to create value in myself? Taking talent off the table, taking work ethic off the table at a snapshot picture. If somebody looks me up online, somebody pulls up my profile on Spotify, on YouTube, on Instagram, what is the most valuable thing that I have going for myself? And that's going to be your streams. That's going to be your views. That's going to be your engagement. And we've defined engagement as the currency of social media. So when people see that you have motion going on, they're more inclined to look further into you to say, this person has something going on that I'm interested enough, I'm intrigued enough to have a conversation with them and possibly invest in them. So do you guys feel that the majority of independent artists are investing in these areas or really have a full understanding of why they should be doing that?
Are you asking me?
I'm asking you.
I feel like there's a lot of artists that try to do it, and a lot of artists feel like I went with this company, I got scammed or this and that. And a lot of the times, when I do ask them, what did you pay for? And then they tell me, it's kind of like, well, you didn't necessarily get scammed. You kind of got what you paid for. It's just, it wasn't what you were expecting, right? And I do want to go off what you just said. It's like this too. So as an artist, if you want to make money, right? I look at it like this. Go ahead and look at your platforms and determine if you would pay for a feature from yourself or not.
Wow.
If you were looking at somebody else's account and they had the numbers you had, would you pay for a feature from them? If the answer is yes, then you know what you're worth. If you wouldn't pay anybody, then you know you put in some work.
Yeah, and that's basing it off raw numbers, and that's a way. You answered your own question along with what Shanti said. That's a way to really assess it, because when you're not just doing it based on something that can be like talent. Because somebody be like, "Oh, I'm raw. They should want a feature from me." But go and see, like, would you feature with somebody that don't have the numbers, that don't have the level of exposure that can help you with what you're doing, and then to hit on something that you said with clients feeling like, oh, they got scammed because, they paid for their service or whatever. Sometimes an artist knows what they want, but they don't know how to get it. And their expectation of what they thinking they want will get them beat east and west. So an artist feel like, I want to do shows. And they feel like if I do shows, I'll be successful. And they pay you to get them on some shows. And you give them some shows, but it don't amount to what they thought getting on shows would do, then they're going to say, oh, I got scammed. Or if you have a defined system that says you have to do A, B, C based on this, it's like going to the gym. And you get an assessment from a trainer, and the trainer says, all right, you say, I want to lose this amount of weight. This is what I want to do. Okay, I've done this over and over. I have 100 clients that they've lost 100 pounds. They put on muscle. They now live a healthy lifestyle. And, some of them in competitions and stuff, I've been able to kind of transform their life. And if that's something that you want, it costs $30,000 to do it. But the money doesn't mean you're going to do it. Following the plan means you're going to do it. But it just costs this much. You give them $10,000 up front, and then you start off, and they say it takes a year. You start off, and in the first 2 months, you don't follow the plan. You switch, and you say, well, I know you said we got to do this, but I want to do this, and I want to do that, and I want to do that. And then the dude say, well, look, this is really what we do. I mean, if you want to transition and do this, they say, well, no, I was thinking I just want to do this now. I was thinking I just want to I want to turn my fat into muscle because I was reading online. That's all you got to do. Have you ever lost 100 pounds before? You ain't never did it. I did it, and I showed other people how to do it. You never did it before. And if I told you this is what it is, you can't follow the plan. At the end of the day, you're not going to get what you want. So then you wasted my time and your own money. And then they say, oh, well, this trainer, he scammed me because I gave him 10 bands and I didn't really get nothing out of it.
And that sounds terrible.
Right.
Yeah.
So, it's right. So when you say it without the context, to know that he gave you a plan. He gave you a time frame.
Yeah.
He said it was worth this. You only paid 10 towards 30, and you only did what he said for 2 months. Then you switched up on them. So you the scam. Because you said, I came here to buy what you selling. Because I know you know what you're doing. Then you switched up in month 2. So when you sat down and paid the money, you said, I'm going to follow your plan. You the scam. So you deserve to waste your money. You deserve to waste your money. So sometimes artists be thinking what they paying versus what they think they want versus what they need. You went to an expert because they done it before. And I tell artists all the time, like, I've gotten artist record deals. I've gotten them signed. I've gotten them brand deals. I've gotten them business opportunities. Have you ever done it? You only sit right here in front of me. You ain't never did it. Sit down and listen. I don't want to waste your time, and I'm definitely not finna waste my time and your investment, nor my money. This is a business. We don't do this for cupcakes and handshakes. And everybody out there, you don't go to the person, but people, this is the one thing that when somebody say, I just want to work with a team that, believe in me and you know, that really rock with what I do and stuff like that or whatever. Like, this is a business, man.
And not only that, I just met you.
Yeah.
Why would I believe in you more than you should
Believe
ever
in yourself. Like, I need to know that you believe in yourself first for, you understand what I'm saying? Like, this is a paid service. You are paying to help maximize your career at the end of the day. My belief in you is your ability to be able to continue to invest in where you want to grow. And once I see that, then I can say, hey, look, hey, let's continue to do business together. When you go and you looking for an apartment at the end of the day, you say, well, I want to live in an apartment where the landlord believe in me. They believe, listen, the landlord need to believe you able to pay every month.
I want to touch on that. So I actually have a personal trainer, right? And we have a great relationship, right? Like, I kind of see him as a friend, but I know that if I do not pay him, he is not going to train me.
He gonna still be your friend though.
He'll still be my friend.
Y'all gonna still be good, but he ain't showing up 5 a.m. in the morning no more.
Exactly. So
Exactly.
my point is this, though. If you want somebody to believe in you, right? And I know you guys know this just as I know this, that some of your best actual friendships in life started as business relationships, right or wrong?
Definite.
Right? But the only way that was able to develop into a real, true relationship was through the consistency of doing business, right? So just like my personal trainer, I pay him to work out 3 days a week, right? Now, because I do it consistently, I pay on time and I go 3 days a week, his belief in me goes up, right? And now what starts to happen? He starts to, oh, you can come in an extra day. He starts giving me extra days for free. He starts to support me more. He starts to show me that he does believe in me based on the effort and the consistency that I'm putting in. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense.
So if you do want somebody to believe in you, you have to prove it, right? If you want to grow with somebody in business, you have to pay them what they're worth. You know what I mean? So that's why I wanted to touch on that.
I also want to say, at the end of the day, you really shouldn't care who believes in you and who doesn't, because as long as you believe in yourself and you actually follow the right plans, the right step, and let's just say you don't know what that is and you get with people that do know what it is, at the end of the day, you really can't do anything you want to do. It's just how bad do you really want it?
Exactly. You heard what DJ Khaled says? They didn't believe in us, but God
did.
Nah, but I mean, just on that, that's the thing about it. You have to believe in yourself, and you keep working it until you make other people believe.
I agree too, because it's like a lot of people. It's kind of like piggybacking off of the belief. Like a lot of people hit me up and say, "Yo, I'm gonna make you $1 million. Have you made yourself a single dollar off of the money yet? Off of the music yet?
It's like going to
Like,
the
how
bank
do you
for
want
a
me
loan.
to invest into you if you don't invest in
Exactly.
yourself?
It's like going to the bank for a business loan. What's your business plan? How's it been going so far? You go on to Shark Tank. Hey guys,
Yes.
how much have you made so far?
Nothing, but I'm
I
gonna
want
make you
$2 million.
But I'm gonna make you millions.
Well, business
See,
is business.
Yeah, because I'm gonna tell you this. Everybody got all the ideas in the world when they ain't gotta spend their own money. But when they gotta spend their own money, they're a little bit cautious on, you know, they actually take a little bit more time to understand what it is that they need to be they need to do, and you know they get the information. But when it's your money, oh, they'll blow it. They got all the ideas, and oh, you know what we think we should be doing? We should be doing this. We should be doing that. Okay, what are you bringing to the table? Mm-hmm. And that's why I tell y'all all the time: watch out for the artists and the managers that says, "Well, all we got to do is this. Oh, the only thing you need to do is this." No, because you need to do that and then some more. At the end of the day, I be telling people, man, once we do this, we gonna be straight. Really? Y'all gonna be straight? And Kendrick Lamar them ain't straight yet? Because every album they put out, they still promoting it. They still marketing it. Yep. And they've already done this. You understand what I'm saying? Drake still promote he did still market his stuff and still promote his stuff. So y'all telling me y'all just need one thing and y'all finna be straight? No, at the end of the day, it's gonna take that and then some. You may need that one thing to get to the next level, to keep going, but that's not gonna never make you straight. You understand that a lot of people have this misconception, man, look, boy, I'm telling you, we do this, boy, we make $1 million. Boy, $1 million is a lot of money to people that ain't never made $1 million before. Because if you thinking of making $1 million from doing anything and still living your same broke life, than it is a lot of money. You're not gonna shop the same place. You're not gonna buy the same things. Your lifestyle is gonna go up. The people that you want to take care of, you can take care of them now. So the excuse of, boy, listen, mom, we wouldn't go through this. If I had the money, we was gonna be in a new house. Now you have the money, so you're gonna be in a new house, which is a dead investment at the end of the day, which is a good investment, but at the end of the day, it's also a liability because now mom ain't never had a house before, so she couldn't pay for it. Now that means you're paying for it, and everything that go along with it, you're gonna be paying into that, and you're gonna buy your own house, and
that's not gonna do anything for your music.
so that's what I'm telling you. So
Right.
So the $1 million that people feel like, oh, once we do this, no, we got to make some more millions. We got to think how we gonna keep growing this, and the methods that we use to get there helps us to keep growing it when we make those good habits, and to know that we got to keep investing, we got to keep growing.
It's like I heard this. I didn't think it was true until the further you develop yourself knowledge-wise. It was like the easy part is getting it, the hard part is keeping it.
Oh yeah,
Like that's
growing
true.
it.
So I do want to ask this though. Like I want to piggyback off of that. So what would you say are 3 traits that independent artists should have if they want to be successful?
Three
Key traits.
3 key traits. I mean, I feel like I kind of said that, but I know the one thing is definitely going to be being consistent. The second thing is going to be being consistent, and the third thing is going to be being consistent.
Wait, when you say consistent though, I think there's a huge misconception because every artist that has nothing going on.
He just said that.
Oh yeah.
He no, listen. That's what I'm telling y'all. So if artists want to find out if they feel like they do have the consistency and they're not getting no results, then you being consistent in the wrong thing. It's time to go to the next level. Because we talking to hundreds of thousands of people or millions of people right now. So for me to just say every artist needs these 3 things, I know what they need. The one thing, they need consistency. And if they say, well, do I need consistency recording? Yes, the artists that don't have no records need to be consistent recording. If they say I need to be consistent in promo and marketing my content, yes, the artists that don't do that already, they got to be doing that. And then, you understand what I'm saying? Do I need to be consistent in finding people that actually have the answers that I don't have? Then the next artist, but everybody's at a different level. So I don't want to blanket it by saying, by narrowing it down.
So I could break it down into, let's say, 3 levels, right? The artist that has absolutely no fans, right? And they don't have...
They're not the first level. If they don't have no music, they don't have no potential for fans. So the artists that don't have no music, don't have nothing, but they want to be an artist, that's going to be the first level.
That's level 1, yes.
Right, so they need to be consistent in finding their sound, getting beats, finding a studio that, that they know is at a good rate, working with an engineer that gonna get a feel for their sound so they can start to build and put in the right product together. They need to be consistent in doing that.
Okay, so now I'm the artist that has been consistent doing that. I found my sound, I got the studio, I got the people I'm comfortable working with. Now I have this dope product. Now what should I be consistently doing?
You need to be consistent in how to get that market out, get that product out to the general public. So it's no different from somebody if you bake cakes and you bake them at home, your family love them at the end of the day and they say you should actually, oh wow, you should actually get this out, and a lot of people, will buy this because they love it. At the end of the day, then the next step, natural progression, is how do I get it out to the masses? You be consistent in figuring out how to get those things out, or hiring somebody that does, working with somebody that can advise you and, strategize with you to get it out.
So now the next level, the artist that has figured that out, they've been consistently doing it. They have a fan base, they're able to live off their music, not full time, but they're able to pay some bills with it. And now they want to go from making, 5 figures to 6 figures and 7 figures. What should they be consistently doing?
They should be consistent on maximizing their assets and minimizing their liabilities. The thing that's working for them the most, the reason that they're able to kind of make a little bit of money, then they need to invest in that to make some more money. They need to more expand on that. And then the things that's not really making them money, assess where they're at and say, well, okay, how could I grow this? So expansion becomes the next level. How could I expand? Strategizing has a lot to do with how to expand. Maybe you don't know how to expand, then you need to hire somebody that can help you to expand. If you feel like I'm already getting here by myself, now I'm in position to work with somebody that'll help me grow it. At the end of the day, you should be consistent in figuring that part out.
Now, the artist that is consistent in doing that, but they have this level of entitlement where they feel like I've done so much already. Why should I pay you? Why should I pay you to do it? Because I've done this so much already. You should just make it on the back end.
Okay.
What do you have to say to those artists?
If the back end that they making is not enough to sustain them, why is it gonna be enough to sustain two people and it can't sustain one?
But you just gotta believe in me, man, bro. We're gonna make millions.
Nah, you could make the millions on your own. Make it for yourself. Keep doing what you're doing then. Thumbs up.
That's funny. Did you see that? There was a big artist that hit up Rick Ross in the DMs. He was like, "Oh, we missing out on millions." And Rick Ross hit him up and said, "No, you missing out on millions."
And it be the misconception because everybody think you just sitting around twiddling your fingers all day. So they the ones that got all the bright ideas, but they don't got nothing to show for it. So they gonna make you some millions when you already doing it for yourself. So, but for me personally, that artist that has that mindset is like that you have a false self-entitlement. I tell people this: if you're gonna lose at something, lose great. You're already losing. You don't want to win because if you come with the mindset of I'm not achieving what I want to achieve, but I think it's enough that somebody else is coming and achieving for me. Keep that same mindset. Keep that same energy. You're losing, then you're gonna lose. You then continue to lose. Thumbs up.
It's also like this. A lot of people, let's say they pray for something. God, bless my finances, but they sit at home smoking weed, playing video games all day. God's not just going to drop a bag of money on your lap. You got to go out there and do something and work towards it to ever receive those blessings or receive the reward for what you put in. So I do also want to ask this. Kind of goes off of what we were talking about again. So what are some areas that an artist can make money as the artist? Right? Like what are some ways they can receive money? Obviously streams, everybody knows streams, but that's usually once you're constantly streaming in the hundreds, thousands, of millions to receive a real
shows.
Okay. What else? Because you said branding earlier, like what for like let's say a smaller artist that's just beginning to get those branding deals, like what is it just whoever comes to you, like Pepsi or whatever it is, like how
No, I mean go ahead, son.
You have to advocate for yourself.
Okay.
You mean that's really the only way it's going to happen. I mean, eventually, it's like going fishing. If you have the right bait on the line, you're going to catch something.
So should I do it as an artist myself, or should I hire an agency like the basketball thing? Should I hire an agency to represent me? Should I just go up?
If you don't know the way to something, finding out the way becomes the natural progression. And in finding out the way, you have to ask yourself a question: do I want to fix the car myself? Mm-hmm. Am I going to fix it myself? I could get the information and still hire somebody that fixes the car just to know enough about what they're doing to make sure that when it's done right, I'm satisfied with it. But you got to ask yourself, do you really want to fix the car? I just want to drive it. Just to finish what he's saying too, when it comes to branding, there's, like Santi said, merchandise and branding, paid shows, record deals, record opportunities, but the space right now is so open. The market space is so open. You have other people that are building smaller brands and smaller stuff. They're building their own stuff, and they want smaller people, influencers, to partner with, and they're willing to pay
merchandise.
Yeah. So you have somebody that may have a hair product. At the end of the day, they do like for dreadlocks or something like that, and you are a rapper and you have a following or something like that. They're willing to pay you a couple of dollars just to post it and say you use that because they realize that now he has a fan base of this and that. A couple 100,000 people follow what he's doing. It might not be nothing big, but then that's residual income is money for you posting, and you know what I'm saying? Like they're willing to pay you to post their product. So the market's wide open for that, but you got to actually have the following and engagement. It's not really even about the following that much no more. If you don't have the engagement, people are not going to do business with you.
True.
Okay. I kind of remember what I was saying, whereas, a lot of people aren't realistic and they want to achieve just certain things. Would you say that's social media's fault with all the expectations on, they're just successful?
Say it again. Say it again.
So a lot of people just aren't realistic with what they necessarily want to do versus the steps, right? And social media, it portrays everyone being successful versus the negative things that they've gone through or done.
I can't blame social media for doing this job. Social media is a highlight reel. You post highlights.
You're not going to post your failures.
Right. So, and some people do post their failures just so their highlights look more glamorous. You understand what I'm saying? It's you control the narrative. If I had a space to control the narrative on my life to present it to people to get them to buy something for me, why wouldn't I do it? I can't blame social media for doing their job. The person that's buying into it for what it's not, you not doing your job. You understand what I'm saying? So if you following what you seeing versus following what has been done, you have people that they buy something from someone, you gotta ask them, what you selling, did it work for you? You understand what I'm saying? Show me. You understand what it is? Now I could show you all Deion Sanders highlights, but he has some lowlights too. But that ain't mean he ain't primetime. He is primetime. You understand what I'm saying? But the average person that been in the league for a year and got cut, he got some highlights too. But if he only posts his highlights and then you see he's not in the league no more, you're gonna say, well, why is this dude not in the NFL? I seen some place he was really, then go look at his stats then. That's the proof, not the highlights. A lot of people don't go look at the stats. They just be, that's why they be,
It's supposed to make it look easy. It's kind of like how come every 4 years everyone's just sitting on their couch eating chips and stuff, watching the Olympics? Like, that was terrible. That's a terrible triple backflip with a rotation into the pool. Like, he splashed. I can do that. No, you can't. It's supposed to make it look easy because you're seeing somebody do it.
Yeah, so people not really doing their homework and getting the real information is more the fault than social media. You can't blame social media doing what it's designed to do. That's like blaming the gun. You know what I'm saying? You got to blame the person behind the gun.
Facts. Well, how do we get the right information, and how do we know who's scamming and who really has the right information?
Stats. I just said it. Stats.
And trial and error.
Stats. I mean,
And doing your research.
that is all statistical. It's really there for people to see at the end of the day. People that don't go and check out the stats. I could show you my highlights and said that I was the rawest person in college basketball and they blackballing me. They don't want me to make it to the NBA. I'll show you all the shots I made. When you go look at my stats, that's there on the collegiate site that shows everybody's that. You see, like, those highlights is the only shots you ever made. You missed every other shot in every other game. You only showed the ones you hit. You don't supposed to be in the NBA. Check the stats.
Got more turnovers than baskets.
That's right. Check the proof. Check the stats. Anybody can say anything, and I'm gonna show you the highlights of it. But get to know the people that you want to do business with. Get to know the market. Get to know if you care that much about it. At the end of the day, you don't just want to luck up and win. At the end of the day, you want to keep winning. Luck can make you win once or twice. Ray Allen talked about an interview. He was signed to Jordan brand and for his shoes and stuff like that. And he said, like, Jordan always had these challenges for them while they were in the league. All the people that signed him. And he said, like, Jordan had one of the things was like winning a championship was one of the big things. So when he won his first championship with Boston, he told Jordan, like, look, I won a championship. Like, what do you think about that? He said, anybody could luck up and win one, but let me see you do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, that's cold-blooded.
Yeah, so because anybody get lucky and win one, but if you really that person, let's see you do it again then. Let's see you do it over and over. We'll always continually challenge ourselves. So get the stats to know who the people who really are. And sometimes, like Santi said, trial and error. And that's a part of it. Count it to the game. There's a lot of people that lost a lot of money making it to the top. Money is not the thing. You want the goal or you don't want the goal. You want to get there because you're going to get the money once you get there. So there's some loss to be associated with risk. And if we ain't going to risk nothing, we ain't going to get nothing. And the risk got to be worth the reward. If we going to get to the reward, then what are we risking? You want to be successful or not? There's a lot of billionaires that lost millions of dollars becoming a billionaire. You ready to lose some to gain everything? We play for gold, boy. We play for the result. We play for the end of it. We don't just play for the money. The money's just a part of it at the end of the day because we know we gon' get the money. But people be thinking, if you looking at Yo Gotti, the interview with Yo Gotti did, talking about independent artists, it's like, if you had $1 million, you're not going to invest $950,000 in being an artist at the end of the day. You're not going to do that. You're not going to do it for you. So all these little artists you have signed to your little fake label, you're not going to spend it on them either. You're going to go buy cars and jewelry and stuff like that. And that be true. So imagine the person that only got $10,000. Because they thinking, $10,000, they life savings. Oh, I'm gonna spend that on my money. You may want to take 5 and risk it on yourself, but then you want me to come and give you 50. And you ain't willing to spend 5 of your 10 on your own self, but I need to believe 10 times more than you. Come on.
So let me ask you this, because a lot of artists, I get this a lot. They say like, "What's the perfect budget? What for me to invest? How much should I invest?"
It depends on the starting point.
Depends on where you are and what the goal is.
It depends on the starting point. There's no. If an artist want to break, let's just generalize it. If they say they want to become, to break an artist, it don't take no less than I would say 150 to 300,000 somewhere in there.
If a label spends $300,000 to break an artist, a label, how are you going to do it independently with anything less than that?
Well, no, because I saw Gorilla Pimp and she just blew up off of one post.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, that's all that happened.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, we're good here.
No,
Well, wait. Did you even pay to get your music on a blog page? Because she also paid for that.
no, but my thing is,
And it wasn't just the blog posts. It wasn't just the blogs and stuff. And I'm sure that's what you're getting at.
I'm being sarcastic.
I know,
I'm playing
I know.
devil's advocate, but it's like
We don't advocate for the devil.
you're
Go
right.
ahead.
You're right. I won't use that term again. But what I'm saying is, the artist that is always looking at the exception to the rule, the one-off.
The 1%. Why we want to go with the 1% versus going with the 99%? Yeah.
They may appear to have gotten lucky, but if there's any, it's a funny thing I learned about luck is that the smarter and harder I work, the luckier I get.
Exactly. And if you go with the 1% of the rule at the end of the day, then you come with the 99% of the problem that come with that exception.
The way I explain it is luck is being prepared for an opportunity.
100%.
So you're only lucky if you're able to capitalize on the opportunity when it meets you, right? I forget where I heard this. Someone said, hell is when who you are now meets who you could have been, like at that crossroad where you see where you could have been and where you are now. That's like,
Oh, that's good.
that's hell right there.
That's
Because
good.
you're meeting yourself if you made all the right decisions.
That reminds me of I forgot his name, but I think he went to the Marines or something where he said it would suck if you died and then what you see around you is just different versions of you where you just could have been successful at different things, but you gave up, you didn't keep trying, you just said, "Oh, that's it, I'm done." That wouldn't that suck?
100%.
So then, what's the best investment to make?
What do you mean?
What's the best thing to invest in?
Yourself. I mean, what do you mean, starting off? So, I mean, you just...
You said it yourself.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Your knowledge,
Yeah.
your skills, getting your skills up.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people want to make a lot of money, but they don't invest in themselves to learn a new skill set or to grow and just get better at what they do.
Yeah. Nah, the investment starts in looking at yourself as a business, as a brand. And so you got to start making those investments incrementally based on, what is needed, and then go to the next level of the natural progression. Everybody wants what their favorite artists have today. You want the fruit that you see, but you can't plant the fruit to get what comes out of the tree. You got to take the seed, go through the process to get that. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of people say, "Oh, I don't see Nicki Minaj doing that." No, because she don't got to do it now.
Right.
You got to see what she did to get to where she not doing that. So you got to do what she did to get to where you don't got to do it. But not because she not doing it now. I mean, you don't got to do it now because you and her are miles and miles apart. But this is something that I learned. When you go to a city, the further you away from them big buildings, they all look like they the same height. The closer you get, you realize that, wow, this building is way bigger than this one. But when I was 100 miles away, they sure did look like all of them were the same height. But you understand what I'm saying? So
Right.
when you don't really understand where you are versus where everybody else is, then you be thinking because your song on Spotify and Lil Baby song on Spotify that I'm an artist like he an artist. No. It's some trials, it's some errors, it's some pitfalls, and it's some successes and some millions between y'all, boy. Like y'all not on the same level.
So let me ask you this. For success generally, because success comes with sacrifice.
Yeah.
What are some of the most, I guess you can say, common sacrifices that obviously it's different from person to person, but the most common or general sacrifices you feel like
Time.
should be made?
Time. You got to put time into it.
Mhm.
You understand what I'm saying? And then investment wise, you got to let them ribs touch, man. You got to stay out of the club one night. You got to not buy a bottle. You got to stay out. You got to not buy that McDonald's. You got to not buy that 2K5 that new 2K. You understand what I'm saying?
Can I make this personal, real quick? So you are a very successful businessman, right? And you don't come from money, right? This wasn't handed to you. So what kind of sacrifices did you have to make to become wealthy or to achieve the success that you have achieved?
Time. I put a lot of time and a lot of listening, man. Having good mentors and listening to people that know the way. You understand what I'm saying? But it takes a lot of time. I sacrificed when all my friends were buying cars and had their jobs and doing stuff when they came out of high school. You know, I was perfecting my craft, you know, and I was out there pushing my CDs back then, like walking, selling my CDs and stuff like that. And people would laugh at me and be like, oh, what is this dude doing or whatever the case may be. But it, like, that never bothered me. That never, because I had a goal in mind. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, you know, when we would go door to door with our music and like, make people see it. We would pay our own way to travel to different countries and sell CDs on the street in different countries, bro. You understand? Me and my team, Line of Judah, you understand what I'm saying? You go to the Bahamas, you ask about us, you know what I'm saying? Like, we really ran that guerrilla game music when it came to street promo and stuff like that. Ain't nobody did it like how we did it. You understand? We was on them blocks, and we would come to go to different countries in the Caribbean. We would come to the U.S. and we would book events and stuff like that. And we would actually go to different venues and tell them we want to put on a show in your venue in a different city where we knew nobody at the end of the day. And then we would bring our CDs, sell them there, and then go to the streets and sell CD in a block that we don't know nothing about because we were so focused and dedicated and pushing, you know, the music and the message that we had. So that time and effort when we was doing that, we weren't making no money. And we was investing a lot. It took money to buy those CDs, pay for those trips and pay for food and stuff like that and do whatever. And then you're doing it in different countries where you have limited resources. But when you believe in yourself, this is the thing. We didn't expect nobody to do it for us at the end of the day. So that thing, we were creating value. But people want to spend $10 a day and feel like, oh, I didn't get $10 back when I spent that $10. No, because you were creating value. When you invest value in something, you create that. It's like an asset, and then you build it up. And then it appreciates after 10 years, and then, boom, you cash out. And then you able to kind of, you understand? It took me 15 years before I really got to where I was seeing some legitimate money from what I was doing.
In music.
In music.
So I'm glad you compared it to investment. So Dom is pretty well-versed in stocks, right?
Yeah.
In investing. So
He's a part of the Bitcoin boys?
no.
What?
He does stocks. You know, he does but I think
I hear Rick Ross talk about the Bitcoin boys and the crypto kids.
it's funny that you say the crypto boys because I feel like with the rise of cryptocurrency, people have this misconstrued idea of investing where it's like I put in 10 and then Dogecoin goes up and I made $10,000 overnight. But you know, you studying real investments, how long does it take to actually make money investing into stocks? You know, if you don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars, like how long does it take to get a return on investment? Like when you invest into a stock, what do you know, kind of?
Well, first, whenever I'm looking for a stock, I don't go for what's most popular. I go for history, like how long they've been around, what do they do, what's their function, just stuff like that, right? So I just go based off that. If I like the brand, if I like the product, I'll put my money into it. And if it goes down, that doesn't mean it's necessarily doing bad. It just means it's another opportunity to keep buying into it, keep pouring into it, keep investing, right? Because there's always going to be ups and downs, but don't just give up. You know, if you really believe in something, just keep going at it.
So when you're investing into a company, you're investing into it to make a return. How many years down the line?
So typically, personally, I'd say 5, 10 plus years, because I'm not doing it for a quick return. I'm doing it for longevity, right? I don't expect to make, $100 if I put $100 back in, because that's not realistic. I'm doing it to hold, really.
So just to go with that, we're not gonna give out all the business tips right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For more information, you come follow us for all of your music and business needs. But, we got to get out of here. Our producers are telling us, like, what we paid them for is already exhausted. And we need to have more investment based on what they got going on. So we going to get out of here. This is just the first episode. Y'all keep watching, keep watching the content. If y'all saw something here that y'all really like, all the information is below. Y'all click that. Y'all book a consultation with us, and we definitely are here to help you to build your music career and your business career. You understand what I'm saying? So anybody else got anything they want to say before we get out of here?
Yes, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you felt
And
that
share.
anything we said was valuable. Share it with your friends and family. And most importantly, respect our royalty.
Also, I just say never give up and just keep going. You never know if tomorrow's day you'll make it, right? So why give up today?
Hey, you could fail 100 times, but the 101st you hit gold.
Keep going. All right. Y'all definitely continue to share this, man. Continue to share this around.
Respect the royalty.
Respect the royalty, boy. Respect our royalty.
Bow!
We're going to check y'all later.